But I think you're correct. The idea of local Hawaii culture being really disconnected is it's a fact, and it's something that you can trace to the end of this laboring culture, a common culture of work and resistance, and it reflects the lack of social movements that help to define what is popular. In the absence of that, you have narrowcasting instead of broadcasting.
We can conclude that the past has served as a precursor. However, one difference remains. During the years 1965 to 1975 in Waikiki, we find a merge and the sharing of stage and light, the exchange of thought, Manoa. Although the first Hawaiian Renaissance was a time of rebirth and reclaim, its audience remained a mixture of native and non-native alike. Waikiki became a ground of truce. Since then, many who once played there are still playing there. However, many have died and their places remain empty. Today, Waikiki has become a novelty of what was. In our quest to qualify, innovate, and evolve, have we taken the time to hear the voices of the past? Do we hear the Mele of yesterday? If so, what are they saying? If so, what are they saying? If so, what are they saying to us? If so, what is the message we need to hear?
This is good stuff, and that we still sing it today. We love to dance and sing of the charms of Hawaii, and with a joyful heart say aloha to you. In every note I'll tell of the smiles of our island, for then I know that you'll be in love with them too. For then I know that you'll be in love with them too. How's that? This is a Pui song. If your pretty little girl leaves you out, standing on the corner for the name, left you standing there with a pair of movie tickets. Tear up the tickets, brother, don't complain.
Aloha, my name is Micah Hirakawa. I am the author and director of the film Mele. You know, as a child, I would sit and listen from the top of my bunk bed. My father, he was a Hawaiian musician, and his group would play pretty much weekly. They'd play all night long, and for me, that was probably my first exposure to Hawaiian music that I can remember. So because of that, I think for me, it was really natural for me and my four other brothers that we'd basically follow in his footsteps, and we've all become musicians in Hawaiian music since then. But it really wasn't until I graduated from high school and began to participate in the professional market that I really realized how much the music had changed. You know, really the reality was to me that Waikiki, you know, the current Waikiki that I played in and play now, well, is very, very different than the Waikiki I grew up with. You know, whenever you undertake a project like this, I think the most important question that really needs to be answered is the so what question, or basically, why is this important? And for me, it was a great honor to feature the Brothers Casimiro along with other artists and scholars who really brought out those reasons of why it is important. You know, the Brothers Casimiro, they've always pretty much been one of the main icons in my life. And I think it's through their experience and their expertise that I felt that they were the best suited to anchor the audience in this particular subject. And that subject being a discussion in comparing the years 1965 to 1975 to the present day, and mainly based in Waikiki. You know, throughout the film, I try to draw parallels from then and now, and really my main purpose was to educate those participating in Hawaiian music. And you might be saying you're not a participant in Hawaiian music, but you really are. You know, Hawaiian music is a worldwide music, and whether you're an artist, audience, or even if you're a participator by experiencing its effects in the ambiance, you know, just by living here, Hawaiian music affects you. And so this film was for you. And what I really wanted to prove was that we are not currently experiencing the effects of the first Hawaiian Renaissance. And I want to restate that. We are not currently experiencing the effects of the first Hawaiian Renaissance. We may be experiencing residual effects, but what we really feel right now is being part of a second Renaissance or a second movement. And basically what we're feeling is the process of being in that new Renaissance. And this Renaissance, of course, is built on the foundation of the first. And with that, the film closes and basically leaves the viewer in question. And I think this is extremely important, as the fate of Hawaiian music has not been answered yet, and I don't think it ever will. Honestly, in my research, I've come to the conclusion that Hawaiian music will continue to evolve and change, because change, specifically with music, is inevitable. And I think when the people participating in Hawaiian music can break this facade, maybe understand that we are in a new renaissance, a new evolution of Hawaiian music, that we will start to begin to see a common cycle, a cycle that happened then and maybe before that, and a cycle that continues to happen, and that we're in constant evolution as far as music. And if we understand this, then we'll realize that it's possible that there'll be another merge in Hawaiian music. So that really brings me back to my original question. So why is this important? I think it's important because